The earth beneath remembers heat, but now it's frozen from below. I place my weight on careful feet and feel the coldness start to grow. It spreads through me like patient ink, seeping into every cell. I stand here at the hollow's brink and listen to its empty spell. No voice emerges from the deep, no echo answers when I call. The silence that the ashes keep is absolute and final wall. I've stopped expecting any change, accepting this as what remains. The landscape stretches cold and strange, a map of sublimated pains. Each mark upon the hollow ground tells stories I no longer need. The narrative has lost its sound, reduced to elemental seed that will not grow or bloom again, just rest beneath the frozen crust. I've made my home within this glen, collecting particles of dust. And fashioning a life from less, from absence and from what withdrew. The hollow is a kind of dress that fits me better than the new. Excitements of the burning days when everything was fever bright. I've learned to navigate the grays and make my peace with endless night. Supports my weight, though it holds nothing I can feel. It simply is, it doesn't wait for me to find something more real. This is the real, the aftermath, the quiet settling of remains. I walk along this narrow path and carry all the phantom pains of heat that will not come again, of light that's been extinguished now. I'm learning to exist within the hollow that has taught me how to be without the constant need to thrive on very little fuel. The ground provides enough to feed this minimal and cooling rule. A prayer for all that turned to gray, for colors lost to perfect pale. I sing the words but don't obey any doctrine or detailed tale about redemption or return, about revival of the flame. I've learned that some things have to burn completely out and lose their name before the silence can arise. settle into bone and blood. I'm barely, but I'm still alive, survivor of the burning flood that swept through everything I knew and left behind this quiet shore. I've washed up here and now I'm through with trying to be what I was before. The psalm is not about the hope of resurrection or rebirth. It's simple acknowledgement of scope, of ash that covers all the earth, of my experience and days, the residue of what was bright. I sing it not as plea or praise, just documentation of the night that's fallen and will not live soon, maybe never into dawn. I hum along my ashen tune and keep on moving slowly on through landscapes made of cooling down, through territories without heat. I've learned to wear the gray light crown and find my way with quiet feet. The psalm is barely even song, more whispered cataloging of loss. But loss is where I now belong, and I no longer count the cost of what it took to get me here, to this suspended final state. The ash has made everything clear and taught me it's never too late to simply be without the burn, without the constant need to glow. The psalm is what I've come to learn, the only hymn I need to know. It speaks of settling and rest, of making peace with what remains, of finding that the quietest can somehow ease the phantom pains, of heat that will not come again, of fire forever put to rest. I sing my ashen small refrain and know that this is for the best. I held the fire in my hands until I couldn't anymore. My palms remember the demands of heat that always wanted more than I could give or I could be. It burned through my resistance fast and left me empty finally, a vessel of the cooling past. I didn't choose to let it go, it simply took what it required and then withdrew in undertow, leaving me completely tired of trying to maintain the bright, of feeding what would not be fed. I learned to welcome the quiet night and stop running from the dread of emptiness and silent rooms, of days without the burning need. I've made my peace with darker blooms and planted different kind of seed that The surrender is bittersweet, but somehow right from day to day. I don't regret the letting go. The flame was never mine to keep. It had its time to rage and glow, and now has settled into sleep that looks a lot like what I found. This quietude of aftermath. I walk along the cooling ground and trace my new and gentler path without the fire leading me, without the urgency or rush. I found a different way to see within the silent, gentle hush. The surrender is not defeat, just recognition of what's true. The flame is gone and that's complete, and I have other things to do than mourn its loss or try to make another fire from the ash. I'll simply be for my own sake and let the memories slowly dash against the shores of what I am, without the burning at my core. I've learned to be a gentler lamb and need the fever nevermore. I dig through layers of the past with careful hands and patient care. Each stratum tells me what didn't last and what remains suspended there. The artifacts are mostly ash and fragments that have lost their form. I sift through evidence of crash, a fire that used to be the norm, and burn through everything it touched, consuming fuel without restraint. But now the sight is barely clutched by memories increasingly faint. Impression of what used to be before the cooling took its toll. I'm excavating history and finding pieces but not whole. Narratives or clear conclusions, just suggestions and debris. I catalog the cold illusions and document what I can see. With naked eye and careful touch, with methods learned from being slow, I don't expect to find too much, just evidence of afterglow that briefly lit the scene before surrendering to perfect dark. I brush away the dust once more and find another faded mark that speaks of heat that's long since gone, of moments burning with intent. I photograph and then move on to other sites where flames were spent and left behind their quiet proof, their minimal archaeological record of the truth, aloof from any burning logical conclusion or decisive end, just gradual descent to cold. I document and I transcend the need to have a story told that makes complete and perfect sense. Instead I gather what I find Let the silence guide and show what layers I should next proceed to carefully uncover here in this terrain of cooling down. Each fragment is a souvenir from when the fire wore its crown. Like footprints slowly filling in with snow that falls without a sound. The mark I made is growing thin, erasing contact with the ground. I used to press with certainty, with weight that left a deeper trace. But now I move more warily and barely touch the surface space. The impression that I leave behind is faint and temporary now. I've learned to be a gentler kind and let the fading show me how to be without the need to mark, without the urge to make my claim. I drift through light and drift through dark, a whisper with a fading name that used to be pronounced out loud, but now just moves inside the air, like breath within a misty cloud, dispersing everywhere and nowhere. The fading is not violence, it's natural and slow decline. I've made my peace with the silence and with this dimming of my shine. I used to burn so very bright, insisting on my visibility. But now I'm learning how the night can offer different possibility of being present while unseen, of existing in the gaps, of finding space that's in between the obvious and clear. Perhaps I fade, but I am not erased, just softer than I was before. The edges have become less traced, but something still remains at core. A whisper of the original, a shadow of the burning form. I carry it like ritual and let it keep me somewhat warm. Though warmth is not the goal anymore, I've learned to function in the cold. The fading opens up a door to ways of being less controlled by need to be perceived and known, by pressure to maintain the bright. I'm fading gently on my own and finding comfort in the slight existence that I've come to be. More suggestion than the solid fact. The fading is a kind of free, a gentle and forgiving act. I sing a song for what has cooled, for passions turned to perfect still, for fires that once completely ruled, now resting on the windowsill like decorative souvenirs from countries I will not revisit. They've gathered dust across the years, becoming less and less explicit in their meaning and their weight. Just objects sitting on display. I look at them and contemplate the burning that has gone away and left behind these artifacts, these fragments of intensity. I handle them like ancient facts and feel their cold solemnity. They speak of times when I could feel with volume that would overwhelm, when everything was burning real and I was captain of the helm. But now the ship has run aground, the sails have torn and fallen down, the crew is scattered all around, and I'm just sitting in the town of aftermath and quiet streets where nothing rushes anymore. I walk past carefully swept concrete and enter through an unlocked door into the house of cooling down, where temperature decreases slow. I've made this place my thorough crown and learned to let the embers go without attempting to revive, without the need to feel the heat. I'm barely, but I'm still alive, and that somehow feels complete. Enough for now and days ahead, enough to simply be and breathe. The elegy is being said for versions that I had to leave behind, like shells upon the shore, like evidence of former forms. I don't require them anymore. I've weathered through sufficient storms and found this quiet place to rest, where cooling is the only way. I've learned that less can still be best when burning has had its full day. The hour when the light went out, I wasn't watching carefully. It happened without scream or shout, just faded incrementally, until the darkness was complete and I was standing in its wake. No way to generate the heat, no spark remaining I could take and coax into a flame once more, revive the brightness I had known. The embers settled on the floor and left me utterly alone, with nothing but the cooling air of how it felt when everything was burning there, before the final card was dealt, and brought me to this quiet space where nothing asks for anything. I wear the darkness on my face and let the silence gently sing its lullaby of emptiness, its hymn to all that's been erased. I've learned to live with much, much less, and found a strange and somber grace in being small and being still, in asking nothing from the void. The extinguished hour will fill with shadows I cannot avoid. So I embrace them as they come and let them settle in my bones. I've made myself completely numb to anything that burns or moans. With urgency or desperate need, I'm past the point of fighting back. I simply let the coldness feed on everything I seem to lack. And strangely, I am not bereft, just different than I was before. The hour has taught me what is left when flame no longer lights the door to future versions of myself, to possibilities untried. I rest upon this dusty shelf and let the hour be my guide through landscapes made of ash and air, through territories without heat. I move with neither hope nor care, accepting this as bittersweet conclusion to a burning phase that brought me to this frozen ground. I'll spend the rest of all my days within this extinguished sound. I stand in places memory keeps, where fire used to paint the walls. The architecture barely sleeps, just waits inside abandoned halls. I know these rooms but don't belong, the furniture of former times. I hum along to phantom songs and trace forgotten paradigms. The floor remembers dancing feet, the windows still reflect old light, but everything is turned discreet and wrapped itself in endless night. I move like smoke through empty space, each step displacing only air. No presence here can see my face, no witness knows that I was there. The warmth has left its signature, a faint impression in the wood. The walls contain a miniature of everything that once was good. But good has lost its meaning now, replaced by something more opaque. I've learned to live without the how and simply drift along the wake of everything that burned too fast, consumed itself and disappeared. I'm living in the aftermath, collecting fragments of the years. They don't connect or form a whole, just scattered pieces on the ground. I gather them without a goal and listen to the absent sound of laughter that has turned to ash, of passion cooled to perfect stone. I'm sifting through the aftermath and learning how to be alone. Not lonely, but in solitude, a difference I have come to know. The emptiness is not too crude, it lets me move in gentle flow through corridors of used to be, through chambers where has died. I am the only one who sees the keeper of the fate inside. And though there's nothing left to hold, I hold the space where it once burned. The memory is growing old, but I remain, and I have learned. What lingers after burning ends is not the flame, but what it leaves. A pale impression where it bends, the ghost that quietly bereaves. I touch the surface, feel the cold, the texture of extinguished days. The story has already been told, but I remain within its haze. No warmth to resurrect the glow, no spark to reignite the core, just particles that fall like snow, accumulating on the floor. I watch them settle undisturbed, a gentle blanket growing deep. Each layer is a broken word, each whisper is a kind of sleep. The silence grows more comfortable, becomes a language I can read. The emptiness is palpable, but somehow answers what I need. I've learned to move through muted tones, to find the beauty in decay. The absence hums in hollow bones and teaches me another way to be without the burning need. To rest inside the aftermath, to plant a cold and gentle seed and walk along a darkened path. The residue is all I hold, the remnants of a brighter time. I fold it in my hands like gold, though it will never shine or climb. It settles deep within my chest, becomes a part of who I am. I've made my peace with less than best, with being neither whole nor dim. The light that's gone has left its mark, a shadow stretched across my skin. I carry it into the dark and let the stillness pull me in. There is no judgment in the gray, no pressure to become restored. I simply am from day to day, the echo of a severed cord. And in this space I've learned to be, though nothing burns and nothing grows, the residue is company, a quiet that already knows. In the quiet after flame is gone, I find the shape of what was warm. No heat remains, just whispered tone. A memory of being whole, the walls remember dancing light. But shadows now refuse to move, I trace the outline of the night. Where embers turn to frozen proof, my voice becomes the falling dust. Suspended in the hollow air, no rush to speak, no need to trust, just stillness settling everywhere. The cold has made its gentle claim, erasing edges once defined. And I used to know another name before the fire left me blind. Softly rest like snow upon a charcoal bed. The silence holds me to its chest and whispers things I've never said. Each breath becomes a careful thing to light, to stir the fragile gray. I wait for nothing, hoping spring will come and wash the ash away. But spring may never find this place where time has paused its steady flow. I wear the cinder on my face and move too slowly through the snow. The emptiness is not unkind, it simply asks for less from me. I've learned to read what's left behind. The quiet archaeology of moments burned and turned to dust, of words that vanished in the heat. I gather them because I must, though they will never feel complete. The aftertaste of something bright remains embedded in my tongue. I mouth the shapes of lost delight, the hymns that will not be sung. And in this space between the end and starting over once again, I am the ash that will not bend, the residue of who I've been.